Intimacy is a deep, rich experience that goes far beyond the physical. It touches heart level because it speaks to building a deep connection and trust between two people. Really, at its most basic, intimacy is a language of touch, emotion, and voice that once unlocked holds the possibility of bringing you closer to that woman than any other possibility in life. This guide delves into the psychology behind intimacy, revealing 4 key areas where she desires your touch. Each of these areas holds the power to ignite passion, deepen emotional bonds, and create unforgettable moments together. If you're ready to enhance your connection and understand her needs like never before, let's explore these surprising insights into female psychology. The essence of intimacy, more than just physical. When we think of intimacy, the first thing that comes to mind is physical touch. But true intimacy is so much more than that. It's about creating a bond that goes beyond the surface, one that is rooted in emotional connection, trust, and mutual understanding. The way you touch her, the way you look at her, and the way you communicate with her all play a crucial role in building this connection. Imagine the woman's body as an old map, full of secrets yet to be unraveled. There are the paths everyone knows and takes, but there are also hidden trails and unexplored places that, when discovered, can unlock a deeper, more personal level of pleasure. These hidden treasures do not only change the physical experience, but also the emotional connection you share with her. True pleasure is not just about the obvious moves. It's about how you make her feel when you discover those little details that resonate with her on a deeper level. In this guide, we will look at the areas women truly want you to touch, but rarely mention. These are the places that, when touched with intention, care, and subtlety, can create a profound impact. It is not just doing it out of habit, but doing it with knowledge and understanding. My name is Celia, and if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. Number 1. The power of eye contact. A truth so shocking it might surprise you. Eye contact, if utilized, can indeed be as thrilling as any touch. Can you remember moments when just a glance seemed to melt all the barriers? That's because eye contact is one of the most compelling tools in terms of igniting deep desire in her. But if used right, there's a connection that words alone cannot make for long. The intensity and timing of your gaze is the key. It's not staring, which can make her uncomfortable or even invade her space. It's merely communicating with your eyes when words aren't necessary and body language becomes prevalent. Imagine the flow of electricity through the both of you, creating sparks that may light up the moment. In those few seconds when your eyes meet, what you're communicating is far stronger than anything words could convey. But here's something interesting. It's not in what you're seeing, but the way you view her. It's how difficult it becomes when you look directly into her eyes during silence, when you sense the tension of being with this person and, at this distance, are about to burst within each other's bodies. Sometimes that would be a bit vulnerable on either of your ends, but from that vulnerability emerges true connection, and what will be felt then is in your eyes, and that one single look may carry everything about without saying anything. And there's more. Eye contact isn't just about generating desire. It's also a signal of trust. When she looks into your eyes and sees that you're fully present, that you're truly focused on her, everything changes. It's like opening a door to a deeper level of intimacy, one that goes far beyond the physical. Scientifically, looking directly at someone can increase the release of oxytocin, the so-called love hormone, which strengthens emotional bonds. So, the next time you're in an intimate moment, don't look away. Look at her with the intention of telling her, without words, that you're there for her, that her pleasure matters just as much as yours. This simple gesture can change the experience to a level where trust and desire blend, to create an unforgettable connection. Number 2, the magic of touching less obvious areas. If you think intimacy is all about the most obvious spots, you're missing a huge part of the equation. There are places on a woman's body that, when touched with intention, can provoke a more intense reaction than you might expect. These are the hidden gems, the areas that, when discovered, can awaken her entire body and create a deeper connection. Imagine this: a gentle graze on the small of her back, a soft stroke on the nape of her neck, or even light pressure on the inside of her wrists. Shocked? These seemingly innocuous spots are actually strategic points that, if touched with care and intention, can ignite deep desire. It's not just about touching for the sake of it. It's about turning every touch into a message, as if each movement is a word she can feel. The back of her knees, her neck, shoulders, earlobes, and even the inside of her wrists are all sensitive places. When you touch these places while keeping the rhythm and closeness, it is an explosive combination. If you want her to feel something different, experiment with pressure and softness. Sometimes, a light touch can be as powerful as a more direct gesture. This is where the trick comes in. When you touch those innocuous parts, you are actually waking the entire body of the woman. Nerve endings in these regions are linked to her pleasure system, which means that if you do it right, you will be triggering a reaction chain. It's not only about the sensitivity of the touch. It's also saying that you care about discovering what makes her truly unique and special. A key tip: don't underestimate the power of playing with her hair. Gently running your fingers through her hair is something many women find both relaxing and intimate. A simple gesture like this can create an emotional connection that goes far beyond the physical. So, the next time you're close to her, forget about the obvious spots for a moment and try exploring these lesser-known areas. Start slow, watch her reaction, and when you notice her body responding, follow that path. I promise you, she won't forget it. Number 3, the art of words and tone. Now we're entering sensitive territory. While touch and physical contact are very important, what you say and how you say can make all the difference in the world. The ear, for instance, is an erogenous zone that most men do not take a lot of care of. But trust me, the right words spoken at the right moment can awaken sensations you never imagined. The trick lies in your tone and intent. It is not just about saying something. It's about saying words that create emotion. Whispering something in her ear while you are together can totally change the atmosphere. The sound of your low voice close to her ear can send chills down her spine and hasten her breathing. But what you say is as important as how you say it. You can remind her of how beautiful she is, what you love about her, or how much you're enjoying the moment, all coming from a place of authenticity. It's not about compliments alone. Sometimes words are great to build up the anticipation. Anticipation is desire's best friend. A few lines that sound very suggestive can get her mind excited long before any touch takes place. It's like making a movie in her head, and every word you say is a key scene. Bonus tip: vary the pace of your voice as you speak. Sometimes speak softly, almost like a whisper, and other times use a firmer tone without losing that intimate touch. This variation keeps her engaged, awakens her senses, and strengthens the connection you're building. You can even pair your words with a touch on her neck or the small of her back, so the words have a physical impact too. If you've ever heard that words can disarm, now is the time to make that a reality. What she often remembers most are not the great displays, but the soft whispers in her ear, which made her feel unique, appreciated, and desired. So, next time you get the opportunity, remember, your voice, when used well, can be one of the most powerful tools to awaken desire. Number 4, light touches that speak louder than words. Talk about the hands, your greatest friends in bed. Not that it's all touching, but how you touch that truly makes a difference. Your hands can be the best tool to convey desire, tenderness, and that deep connection if you know how to use them well. This isn't about force or speed, but precision, softness, and above all, intention. Imagine each touch as a brushstroke on a canvas, with her body as the masterpiece you're creating. When used with subtlety and attention, your hands can convey so much more than a simple physical gesture. A light graze on her back, a soft stroke on her abdomen, or the inside of her thighs, and you'll see how her body begins to respond in ways you may not have expected. What makes these touches special is variety. Avoid sticking to basics. Experiment with different pressures, speeds, even temperatures. Something as mild as tracing the soft touch of your fingertips down her skin or a firmer touch on the small of her back can induce a reaction you never thought would be so deep. And add a little bit of anticipation in there. A few minutes beforehand, don't go right away to the places that everyone hits first. Lightly touch her entire body in light, harmless-seeming ways. You would be surprised how these subtle gestures can awaken far more than you ever imagined. Here is a foolproof trick. Hands on the neck. A gentle caress behind her neck or a touch on her collarbone can send shivers down her spine and create an immediate emotional connection. Don't underestimate the power of these small gestures, which, when done right, can elevate the experience to another level. After all, it's not just about what you are doing, but the way you are doing it. The combination of light touches and unexpected caresses with that mixture of softness and firmness at the right moment can change a simple touch into a very clear message of desire and attention. Every movement of your hand should convey to her that you are fully there, enjoying every moment, and most importantly, focused on her. The next time you are together, forget the rush. Instead, take time to explore by touch and watch how her body responds. The best caress can be much more powerful than any grand gesture. And when you tune into her responses, the experience becomes far more intense for both of you. Number 5, the true power behind pleasure. To those of you who have patiently read all the way to the end, here's a piece of information that will be meaningful. You're my kind of person. It's a treat to see how committed people become, not just in pleasure, but also for the understanding, to see through the true meaning of connecting with your partner. And to make it more interesting, let me reveal one zone that, though it's never really thought to be one, is in reality the strongest of all, the brain. Yes, it's true that the brain is the largest sexual organ we have. It absorbs the long-drawn, pleasurable sensation, every touch, every word you exchange with her. And the punchline: you could be brilliant with your hands, know all the techniques in the world, but if you fail to ignite the emotions of that other person with your mind, if you fail to make that another aspect of what she perceives as an experience, think of it. Desire, pleasure, and fulfillment all begin in the mind. The brain decides which stimuli she finds pleasurable, which fantasies are a turn on, and which compel her to want more. So, the real magic is how you engage her mind throughout the process. It's not just touching her body, but touching her imagination, her emotions. How to apply it is simple. Don't underestimate the power of an intimate conversation before the action even begins. Talk about what she likes, what excites her, but also listen to her. Ask her about her fantasies, and create a space where she feels free to express herself without judgment. This not only strengthens trust, but also lets her mind slip into that state of arousal where everything that follows becomes much more intense. Mental games are perfect for keeping her brain busy. You can start with suggestive words during foreplay or even earlier. Send her a message when she least expects it, a subtle comment hinting at what's to come later. Trust me, anticipation is one of the best tools to spark desire. As Jung once said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. We're talking about that internal part that awakens true pleasure. The emotional and psychological connection is what transforms a physical experience into something unforgettable. And this isn't about complicated techniques. It's simply about being present and knowing your partner on a deeper level. Also, don't forget that the brain responds to visual and auditory stimulation. Create the right atmosphere by playing with soft lighting or music that relaxes or inspires you both. These are details that activate the senses in a different way. You're not just stimulating her body, you're engaging her mind, and that together can elevate the experience to a completely new level. So, here is your prize, a little reminder not to underestimate how much power the mind holds in pleasure. The tremendous mental and emotional connection that you will have with her is what will make everything else bear a much deeper meaning and significance. For after all, the biggest aphrodisiac is on how you would make her feel and not on what touches. To close, let's talk about everything we've discussed today. Intimate connection isn't just about the physical. It's so much more than that. It's about understanding every touch, every gesture, and every word impacts the relationship you're building. Pleasure isn't just the result of the right technique, but of the emotional and mental connection you make with your partner. And that is a process that requires all of sensitivity, communication, and respect. The 4 areas she wants touched during intimate moments reflect not only physical touch, but also trust, affection, and emotional intimacy. Paying attention to these cues will make a big difference in your relationship as you strengthen the bond by supporting each other. Knowing where to touch is not intimate. It's showing that you care and hear her out. With this, you'll be able to connect at a level that's beyond the physical, a connection that is simply unforgettable.